Hey guys, how's it going? I am the ConflictNerd, hello and welcome to Prison Architect. So this is Alpha 11 of the game. I've been watching some people play this on YouTube. I've been watching this game for a while, and I decided to pick it up in the Steam sales because it was like 34% off. Not quite sure why it wasn't 30% or 35% or 40%. They went with some weird number, but that is fine. That is completely irrelevant, actually. Let's just play the game. So, the premise of this, as you might be able to imagine, is that you build a prison. Which sounds easy when you think about it, but it sort of isn't. And I'm gonna bloody pause. There we go. Oh, why are we getting deliveries already? It's not like we've placed anything. But yes, what we're gonna do is plan our prison. We have a lot of room to work with, but we'll go ahead and figure out where everything is gonna go. So, deliveries and garbage. Deliveries is where we get stuff like this, bricks and materials, but that's also where our prisoners will be arriving, which is a bit weird, but you know, that's completely fine. We'll be getting 8 prisoners in 23 hours and 39 minutes. We also need to read this. You need to read this every time you start a new prison, but that's fine. We'll read it just this once. Dear Sir/Madam, congratulations on completing your basic introduction. You are now a fully qualified prison architect. Soon, you'll be designing, building, and running your own prisons, starting from nothing. I've lost like that. But an empty plot of land and a few stacks of bricks. Before you get started, I thought I might share some important lessons with you. Every prison needs a warden. He should be one of your first hires. Build him a nice office, and he'll open up a whole range of advanced facilities via the bureaucracy system. Individual jail cells are expensive, especially early on when funds are very tight. Save money by starting with a single large holding cell, which can be shared between many prisoners at once. Get your kitchen and canteen up and running before the first prisoners show up, and be sure to hire some cooks. Nothing irritates a prisoner more than an empty stomach. Many items require a water connection. Water is provided by a small water pump station, and pipes are built in the utilities view. Use small pipes to connect individual items together, then use large pipes to connect back to the station. Small pipes can only carry water so far before they lose connection. Well, that's about everything. Good luck. The CEO, Prison Architects Corporation. P.S. Share tips with Prison Architects at Prison Architects. Yes, we get that. Now on to the building. So I've paused things here. I'm going to plan my prison. So like I said, this is where people get delivered. This is also where bits and pieces get delivered. So what I sort of want to do is have my prison sort of open up like this. So this will be where people enter the prison. You know, this is where people come in. You might think, well, what about deliveries? You'll see that in a minute. So this is where people are going to come in. And what I want is to go about 10 spaces that way. And about 10 spaces that way. Zoom out a little bit. And we'll go about 20 that way. And 20 that way. And connect it all up. So this is going to be our main courtyard, which is sort of crucial. Now, up in this area, I want to have offices and stuff like that. So we're also going to have ourselves a storage room right here. So that's basically why the deliveries thing is there. There's going to be a staff door that leads into the storage room so people can come down and collect all the delivery stuff and put it in there. So that's what goes on there. Now, offices, if I remember correctly, need to be 5 by 5. So let's try and work that out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5. Good. And then again. Okay. And again. Now that leaves me a nice little area here to do that, and that'll be how people get into their offices. That'll be another staff door. So that's all the offices. I can leave this area fairly open, to be honest, but I'll close it off for the sake of closing it off. So at some point we can put stuff up here like the morgue and the nurses and all that other stuff. But that's where all of our official stuff goes. As for the criminals, as for the scumbags of this place, well, they need somewhere to eat. So that's going to be where the canteen comes into play. So this is going to be our canteen, nice and big. This is going to be our kitchen, not quite as big. And that should be good for that. So canteen entrance can be there. Kitchen entrance can be there. That'll be a staff door, of course. Now the thing is that this means our chefs are going to have to come out through the canteen and up through the prison to get to storage, which isn't really ideal. But I guess that's the way it's going to have to be, because I honestly don't want to rearrange things and have storage elsewhere. So that'll be the link for storage right there. Actually, let me just center that. Okay, so storage, which I think I could probably set up now, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, select storage. And there to there. Alright, so that's going to be storage. We can go ahead and... where are the offices? There they are. Zone a couple of offices. And I'm going to be calling it zoning, purely because I've been playing a bit of SimCity. So, you know, it's sort of the way it goes. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And 1, 2, 3. So that'll be our yard. No, wait. Shit. That's not a yard, that's an office. So that'll be our yard, where the criminals and the scumbags and the lawbreakers can hang out. So, let's go ahead and skip the boring stuff, and we will come back when we have the rest of the stuff done. Okay, so what I've done here is built some more at the front of the prison and at the back. These are all cells, or rather they will be. I'm not going to build them just yet, because this down here is going to become a holding cell. Now, as you saw, as the game stated, it is cheaper to have a holding cell to begin with than it is to have individual cells, because they are not cheap. So what I'm going to do is build this area and the storage room, and maybe not the offices and maybe not the actual cells just yet, because it is cheaper to do things that way. So as you can see, you know, this is going to cost us a lot of money. The chances are that we're not going to have enough. But fortunately, there's sort of a way to get around the lack of funds, and I will show you that in a moment. I just want to get my storage room right there. And what I also want to do is set up some walls to go along here. In fact, they can go the whole way along and meet right there. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and place our doors, which shouldn't be too much of a problem at all. So there and there. Then we want a small jail door for there, which will lead down to the holding cell. We'll have our double door there for the canteen. We will have our staff door there for the kitchen. We will have a staff door there and a staff door there. And that should be all we need, realistically, to get this prison working. For now. Because once we kick things into high gear, as you can see, the workmen have just arrived. We should also see the various materials getting dropped off right about now. There we go. So those materials are all going to be dropped off. These guys will put them in there and eventually put them into storage. And then they will start placing them where they're meant to go. So come on, fellas. Bloody workers are taking their time. Ah, I see what they're doing. So they're basically waiting for everything to be unloaded. So let's not bother watching this. It's a bit boring. So the last truck has just left, and as you can see, the workers are now making their way down here to start laying the foundations for the prison. Now the way this works is you need to lay the foundations, and once all of the foundations are laid, and that basically means all of this area, this corridor, this area, and the storage room, that will all turn into a room when an outside door is placed on it, an exterior door. A door like this won't count because that's technically inside, same with this one, and this... Okay, there is no door there, but you know what I mean. Basically, these guys have a bit of work to do. Once that's done, we have some buildings, and we've still got plenty of time. There's still 21 hours to go, so we're doing okay. Although, they're sort of taking their time and being very lazy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hire two... Oh, holy balls, we're out of money. Okay. Let's just fix that. We'll get some grants. We need some money, some government money. There we go. Now hopefully, yeah, there they go. Back to work. Let's hire two more of them. Okay. And they can go and help with the construction. What I would kind of like to see is a door such as that one or one of these ones installed pretty soon. Because that would allow the building to turn into a building as soon as it's done. We don't have to worry about anyone getting stuck. We don't have to worry about anyone derping out, but we'll see what happens. Now, while those guys are down there working, I'm going to go ahead and install our power station and our water pump. So these are basically crucial. We will need them to power the entire bloody place. And hello, they're doing a very good job. Look at this. Look at this. So let's go ahead and put in our... What's cheaper, brick or concrete? Neither, it's just to make it look better, apparently. Okay, we'll stick with brick since it's what's been used. Go ahead and do that. Okay, so that'll be all of our rooms. We can go ahead and block all of these up as well. And there is that wall finished very nearly. There we go. Okay, we have some space to play with now. Let's go ahead and assign the rooms. So this is going to be our holding cell down there. This is going to be our giant canteen. This is going to be our not-so-giant kitchen. That's our yard, which is already nicely in place. Okay. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I realise I've just made two holding cells. Let's fix that. Okay, canteen. Okay, so a canteen needs to be indoors and it needs to have a serving table. So let's grab a serving table and we'll put it by the door here so the chefs don't have to go too far. And you know what? I'm going to put in a couple of tables as well and a couple of benches, just so the guys can sit down and they don't get all angry and start rioting, because I don't know about you, but I kind of like to sit down when I'm eating, so, you know. Once that serving table is installed, that room will be done. Now, the kitchen needs a cooker, a fridge, and a sink. Now, I'm going to install two cookers, and I'm going to install two... No, shit. No. Right. Two fridges as well, and one sink so that I can hire, actually maybe two sinks, no, one sink so that I can eventually hire two chefs, which should be very handy. Okay, so the holding cell needs toilets and benches. I think for the toilets area I'm gonna do this and just block it off, so you know you don't want to be sitting in prison. You know, you've just been arrested, you're having a bad day as it is, you know, you're thrown it, and then you're thrown into a holding cell and you have to witness some guy shitting, you know. That's not what you want. That's just not what you want at all. So there we go, the holding cell will be completed fairly soon. We have our power plant installed, which is great news. So if we go to utilities and hook up the water pump to the power plant, I then want to bring the power line down the front of the prison. like that. That's a lot of money, it's a lot of electrical cable. But it does let me kind of arrange where it's going, basically. Which is very useful. So if I do this, I'll bring it around. And I'll bring it up. I basically want the power lines to be everywhere. You know, under every wall, wherever possible. So I'll let those guys install the power lines. I would go ahead and order in the pipes for the water, but that would be a horrible idea, purely because they would get overworked and they would take an even longer amount of time to actually get anything done, which is not what I want. What I do, however, want is a capacitor, because that will boost the output of power from the little power station there, which is sort of what we want. Okay. What I would also like to do, whilst the idea is in my head, is build this wall up here. Now, I know it's not being used just yet, but I'm going to build it, and I'm going to show you why. Basically, I would like to fence in my utilities here. I'm not comfortable leaving these exposed the way they are. That seems like a horrible idea, if you ask me. So, you know, let's fence them in. Let's keep them safe. Let's not have prisoners going out and fucking with the power. So that should be good. So, oh, the holding cell has power. They've actually got the power lines down here, which is great news. They're installing it here. It just needs to go around, and eventually we will have power to the kitchen and the canteen. Now, the kitchen, if I remember right, will be needing some direct power to those. Okay. So that should be easy enough. They'll get on that fairly soon. What we're also going to need is, like I said, pipes, which I think will be okay to go ahead and install right about now. So I'm going to bring a large pipe down here. And along the middle of the canteen. And that's all we really need for now. No point wasting money. And hopefully, these small pipes will be able to carry the water to the toilets. And also to the sink there. So that should be okay once those are all installed. Okay, we've got 9 hours. We should go ahead and hire some guards. We'll have 2 of them. Okay. So what are these guys up to? They are installing the fence, which is great news. I want to go ahead and put a light out there as well, actually, if possible. So put a light just there. And I would does this not... Oh, God. Zoomed it a little bit far there. Not quite what I wanted. Okay, that's nicely powered. It seems that everything is, in fact, powered, and these guys are doing a great job of installing the pipe. Yeah, that's going fantastically well. Okay. Let's go ahead and put in some foundations for our first office. Which is good. It's a fantastic moment for the prison. It's not even open, but we're making a lot of progress, which is very good news. So let's get that built, and then we can go ahead and put in the office desk right there, the office chair, and the filing cabinet. And as soon as those are in place, we can go ahead. In fact, we could probably hire him already. He will be looking at an office, but he can move into that one as soon as it's built, which should be anytime soon. In fact, I think he's already heading to it by the looks of it. There we go. His office is built. Fantastic news. What we will be needing, though, is a bit of a power line to come over this way and down to there. Okay. So we'll get that built. We'll get the warden some power. And so far, this seems to be going pretty well. Now, there are 8 prisoners arriving, but what I think I'm going to do is change it so that it's not just normal risk. In fact, you know what? We will have low-risk prisoners. Minimum security prisoners will be arriving here in 5 hours, and they'll be going into the holding cell, and that should be okay. We should be fine. So we need a shower as well. I've just read the little thing here. So that'll need to be sorted. But let's go ahead and hire 2 of these guys as... Ooh, bugger. Okay, we've just passed our budget. Meaning you're getting the sack and you're being hired. Okay, so that's 2 cooks. Now we just need to build a shower. Now the shower, I think we're gonna have... Maybe off the back of the holding cell. I don't know. I can't really decide. For now, I think it's going to be best if we just have the shower off of the back of the holding cell. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll have it, say, there-ish. So something a bit like... Bloody select. Something a bit like this size. 7 by 10 seems reasonable. And we'll make a shower. So hopefully those guys will hurry up. I mean, are they done? Yes, the warden's office now has power, which is great news. So let's go ahead and get the shower built, and then we'll have some prisoners arriving pretty soon.